It keeps recording. It keeps telling me to record. I'm not ready to record. Turn it off. Shalom, Halito, Onyasayo, Hola, and what's up? So, finally jumped on here for my friends, family. What I want to do is I want to take this journey with you and find out if Thanksgiving or December 25th is even worth our time or energy, especially when we can find a different appointed time. Should I humble myself enough to celebrate that when I find out it's even there in scripture? If you should be celebrating Hanukkah or Hannakah or Hanukkah, I like to spell it Khanakah. Hannakah, Hannakah, which means to dedicate. Therefore, I just call it dedication. I want to share the history, the meaning, why you should be celebrating, how you can be celebrating, because this is a perpetual historical tradition of people everywhere, every year. Hanukkah is celebrating the regaining of the Jewish temple. But I'm not Jewish. No, I'm not. But I can relate to those that were possibly a tribe of Judah. You know, I can relate to the Bible, right? Because it's what I know. Some people are like, who cares? Some people are like, it doesn't matter. You know, I get a lot of make it make sense. But we are the remnant in the book. We are the children of the Nagas. We are the children coming from all of these different mystic stories. You know what? Some of us can relate to being the remnant of the people in the book, the indigenous Americans of this continent, Mesoamerica, Mesopotamia, the stem of David, the Good Samaritan, India Superior. And most of us understand that the temple is not a location that you can get to, but the temple is found within. We the people in the book, right? The story of Hanukkah and the regaining of the Jewish temple begins in the 2nd century BC, before Christ. Antiochus IV Epiphanes. He was the leader of the Seleucid Empire. His goal was to Hellenize our ancestors. And in pursuit to do so, he built an altar to Zeus inside of our physical temple and outlawed all good practices and made our personal lifestyle choices illegal. Not all Judeans are Hebraic or Ivory people were against the alienation, right? Just like today, you got people want to celebrate Thanksgiving and they want to celebrate Christmas and they're like, ain't nothing wrong with it. This is what I do. This is what me and my family does, right? And so they're okay with it. The same was in that day. They were okay with it. But there's still a difference between right and wrong. And so I'm just asking, if you know the difference, don't you want to make the change? But perhaps you don't know the difference, which is why we're taking this journey. If you just have to hold on to what the adversary has given to you, then hold on. By all means, stay in bondage. But if you can listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth and it resonate with you, and you like, what is that? Come a little closer. Because let it be known that not all of our people were having it. This includes a great high priest, or what we would have called then a priest king, named Matthias. And Matthias refused to be the first to sacrifice to paganism, because that's what this is. It's a form of paganism. It's not the way of this way, right? A different path. And we kind of want to stay on the path, right? But unfortunately, even though he refused to be the first to, do what everybody else was doing. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And so it wasn't until his son, Judas Maccabee, decided to take up arms and fight back against the Greeks that we see our people rise up, right? Hawah Maccabee, as he is called, gathered his people who understood that the temple should be set apart from Hellenization. The works of hell. That's what I'm gonna call it. Because I don't know, and I don't want no parts of it. I'm just saying. When they won the battle with their small army over the sizable Greeks, this is a real historic event that can be found and solidifies the significance in our lives today. It brings us to the miracle spoke of, which is that there can be victory in small numbers. And as long as you're fighting on the right side, it doesn't matter. Because once they had won that victory, the Maccabees defeated the Greeks, they regained the temple, they took out the altar of Zeus. Out of your heart. Take out that altar of Zeus out of your heart, please. But they took out the altar. They lit a candle stand, which was a tradition when you would dedicate a temple to the Most High. But that candle stand is known to us today as a 7-day menorah. And the oil that was used to light that menorah lasted 8 days, although it was said that it was only enough oil to last for one. So in true color folk fashion, they partied 8 days, which celebrated Saturday to Saturday, 8 days, 7 nights. That's what the grid looks like on the calendar. Duh. You can find the history in the first and second book of Maccabees, and there are so many other sources that speak on this history. I encourage you to dig deeper. This is a good time for it. Go below the surface. Find out what you need to know. But if you find out that Thanksgiving is tied to murder and massacres, and you find out that Christmas is tied to demons and stealing souls of children or whatever, I'm gonna need you to just drop that, because it's just giving bad energy, bad vibes. And so just drop it and find this day with me. Like I said, it's an 8-day celebration, seven nights. And rededicate your life back to the Most High. Get your life in order and womp, 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 womp. Because if you find December 25th is not about the birthday of the Messiah, which is known to be during tabernacles, which means dwelling among us. Tabernacles is the true place of the nativity scene. So many of us mock the great spirit of the Most High, and we don't even know that we're doing it. In celebrations throughout cultures for winter solstice, on every continent for over 5,000 years. So it seems strange that I'd be pushing, celebrate dedication when it's in the Bible, when all these people have Bibles, so how come nobody celebrated, nobody knows except for the Jewish people? But for me, it seems strange that you deliberately dismiss what you can find in Deuteronomy, in Jeremiah, in John, in Enoch, and completely dismiss, and in the book of Maccabees, completely dismiss all of this information that warns us not to dismiss these facts, but instead teaches us to humble ourselves and leave behind how we think, and instead move forward in gratitude and take up how the great spirit of the Most High would want us to celebrate. Seems to be a lot of stories. There's stories on Amun-Ra, there's stories on Zeus. There's a lot of different connections to December 25th, and there's absolutely no connection to the great spirit of the Most High inside of the book, that spirit, written for December 25th. That is part of New Testament jibber jabber and the letters of how to mind control the indigenous Americans, and it's done through lies. Let me bring you back to what is known as the Festival of Lights. It's written to be on the 25th of Kislev, which, if you use a Gregorian calendar, the 25th of Kislev usually falls on the Saturday after Black Friday, from Saturday to Saturday. And our Messiah celebrated dedication on the porch of Solomon, which can be found in John 10:22. We have been tricked into thinking that this is not for us, it's for the Jewish people, and we've been taught this in error. How are we followers and doers? You're not. You're a liar. You're not. Dedication, or the Festival of Lights, should be your physical representation of letting your light shine. This should resonate with you, because I know that you have heard it all your life. It's in your heart. Let your light shine. You done heard somebody say that to you. Follow the instructions of the Torah, or follow the Messiah's practices. You don't have to, but if you take your traditions way back, which you can't get to your traditions without getting to people who knew the ninth spiral, and you cannot celebrate it with the European version of Christmas. It is the dedication to the temple, and you are the temple. Celebrating dedication is not mandatory, but I see it as a beautiful and beneficial thing to add to our lives. And the main reason is that this holiday, or set apart celebration, emphasizes you carrying the light of the Great Spirit and releasing that good energy out into the world. The same way that the menorah was in the temple is the same light that is within you. And so you should voluntarily choose to show through faith and good works that you can align your celebrations with the Great Spirit of the Most High, because this is our true culture. It's our heritage. It is our inheritance. It's our tradition. We have all been shopping during this season, and we've seen candy and wrapping paper and dreidels and candles and material things that say Hannukah, and all these decorations are fun and all, and all these things that use blue and white and silver and gold and sparkles and stars, and all these things are fun, but none of these things have anything to do with the actual meaning of dedication. But they're fun. Commerce gives you an 8-branch menorah, but it shouldn't be 8 branches. It should be 7 branches, because it's 7 nights and 8 days. And that's validated through our traditional calendar grid count, through Isaiah and Galatians. And so, that doesn't make sense. Commerce also sells us the dreidel, which is a children's spinning top. It's to teach Hebrew, but it's played more like dice, which is how the chocolate coins come into play. And we're encouraged to make latkes, which are fried mashed potato hash browns. Now, I do like some hash browns, but I don't think I want them for dinner. Yeah, I'm not. Nah, that ain't it. That's not it. Now, everyone around us puts up lights all over their house, right? You see lights everywhere during this season, during this time, and people don't even realize why they're putting up the lights. But this is the Festival of Lights. This is tradition. The easiest way to accept this is to come out of religion, come out of Greek and Egyptian religious thought, which is brought to us by commerce or colonization of the church, right? I want you to focus on the good here. Focus on the good. So instead of validating Thanksgiving and Christmas, I invite you to celebrate dedication instead. Because how much poison do you need in your cup for you to consider it polluted? We know scripture warns us not to follow any man-made traditions. And so if you are not a follower of the word, what are you doing? The new tradition is to give each child one gift for 7 nights. And on the 8th morning, let them wake up to multiple gifts. No tree, just multiple gifts. And then you try and keep them where they are thinking gifts, so puzzles or, things that are going to make your child think, build financial awareness, self-sustainability, budgeting. Do those things over toys whenever possible. And light your menorah each night. The whole menorah, the whole thing. Show your gratitude to the great spirit of the Most High. And this is about love and wisdom and joy, understanding and peace, counsel, long-suffering, might, power, guiltlessness, knowledge, goodness, faith, right? Keep the faith. Decorate with blue and white linens and blue and white lights, and treat each day like a Thanksgiving day. And one of these days, whether it is the first day of dedication or it is the last day of dedication, which our Messiah celebrated the very last day, make it your new Friendsgiving celebration. And get the family together. Good food, sweet desserts, family, friends, music, a good time, dancing, singing. This is a joyous time, season greetings. It is the new season of winter, and it's a time to be merry and do some self-reflection, learn to, dedicate back to yourself, eat better, exercise more, observe your progress from last year, see how you can get better, what you can do better. Stop blindly following everybody else and make this about you and your family and dedicating your life and your family's life, time, and energy back to the Most High. There is so much in our existence that we are just now discovering. It's just coming to the light. And we innocently didn't know what was going on. These choices that we have made are affecting our lives, our spirituality, our kids, and our family. And we have got to get back to what history has shown us so that we can begin to prosper as a nation, as one nation. Let me throw that in there. One nation of Americans should be celebrating dedication, the festival of lights. I encourage you to build a new altar in your heart. Circumcise that old stuff. Throw it away. And for liberty and freedom. Do you? I hope this information was helpful. If it was useful, if you think you can share it, please like, subscribe. I would really like for you to leave a comment and tell me if it was helpful, and if you are going to plan on going ahead and giving up these 2 days and celebrating what the Most High has reflected He wanted us to celebrate. You could head over to our website, ivoryamerican.com, punch in your email address. We will get your address so that we could send you out a calendar so that you could follow along with the Most High every year and begin to reconnect to the grid. These are basic instructions before leaving Earth. Basic. basic. Happy Hanukkah.